We got some crazy riders out here who I'm sure would agree to sign it. A couple of them are in the gate right now. It's time to get racing in today's specialized dual slalom cans. We got Bella Birchall in the gate going up against Shania Ross, and the 4th and 5th qualifiers. Expect for this to be a tight matchup. Alan, watching some of the preliminary rounds, that black course is looking quick.
Yeah, both courses are pretty even. The black course being slightly faster. That first turn on the white has a little bit of a rut section. Still a little soft from that early rain we got, but both riders have to do their runs on both courses, and it's an average of both scores, or both times. So it doesn't really matter if one track's a little bit different. They're gonna come together in the next round. Pretty commanding lead right here out of Shania Ross, and Bella just able to keep it on track on those flat turns. She is going to have that 1.5 maximum differential going into the second round, but heading up onto what you pointed out might be a little bit faster of a track.
It's always different in dual slalom. Sometimes you have both courses super even. This one is definitely a case where that black side, that rider's left side, is going to be the fast one. You're going to see if somebody crosses the finish line first and run one on the white course, then they're absolutely scorching. So that's really going to play into the story as we work our way through these rounds today.
Yeah, keep your eyes on those flat turns. I know how many times we've talked about the flat turns, but as I mentioned, the traction on those flat turns is decreasing as the day goes on, and the speeds that they're coming into is increasing. So expect to see some fireworks, some last-minute passes, and maybe even some explosions in those final turns.
Next heat loaded in the gate, Martha Gill going up against Eleni Turkovic.
Our winner in Rotorua, Martha Gill, definitely chasing that queen of Crankworx. You see there that green little bar, that means she got the whole shot out of the gate. It's obviously what you want to do. You come out of the gate first, keep it smooth, exactly what Martha Gill is doing. She comes into the shark fin right here, the Dungal Jarginji. That is a tribal name for shark fin, as that wall ride is resembling. And it looks like Ellen able to catch up right there with a .32 advantage. She was able to squeak by Martha right there in those flat turns. So the flat turns already playing a factor here in the first round.
Yeah, look for Martha to be able to make up that disadvantage there once we get them back to the top of the course and switching sides. Martha, of course, the silver medalist from this event just 1 year ago. And as you mentioned, she won stop #1 in Rotorua just 2 months ago.
Martha's such a seasoned racer when it comes to racing. I've kind of been watching her over the years. She slow plays those first rounds. You know, this is the longest time that she's been off the track since qualifying, since the final run. So I kind of saw her feeling out those corners and that traction and the speed, and I really expect to see her like lay it down after this.
For sure. I mean, she's looking really strong this season, and also think about the fact that Caroline Buchanan, who is our reigning queen of Crankworx from the 2023 season, just focusing on slopestyle this year, so the door is wide open for a rider like Martha Gill to grab those points and try to grab that crown at the end of the year. Tomorrow's event, though, another opportunity for riders like Martha Gill to grab some points. The downhill, just 24 hours away. It's going to be a good show. Take a look at this course. You know this course very well, Alan.
Yeah, such a legendary course. Was originally opened up for the 2006 World Championships. Such a special track. They did not change it since then. So many legendary moments on this track. It's so awesome to incorporate it here at Crankworx Cairns. That sprint at the bottom, you might win the downhill, but when you get to the flat at the bottom, it's all on the line. One of the biggest sprints in downhill at the bottom.
When you got stumps for legs like that guy on the top of the podium right there, Mick Hanna, he has a tendency to do a turtle. We got a turtle, Houston. Where else can you go? Check out a Crankworx event. Go snorkel the Great Barrier Reef, cruise through the rainforest and see these. I saw this. It's called a goanna today. Remember this thing?
Yeah.
We thought it was so. We thought it looked like, you know, so friendly, and then we found out how dangerous they are, and so we kept our distance. But it's wild out there.
Yeah. Vicious, oversized lizard. That's what I saw.
We wanted to like pet it. So we're gonna take a look back at some highlights from the round of 16 for the men. I'll get you up to speed here before we see the start list. Ryan Gilchrist, Yes, he is the defending champion. He took the gold here last year. He's also the #1 qualifier. He also made it into the round of 8, so he's in our big show here tonight, as well as the man who took the win in 2022 here, the inaugural Crankworx Cairns. He won the slalom. His name's Mick Hanna. He also won a downhill race here today, the Oceania Championships. Turns out he's really good. He's been around for a long time. He's from right here in Cairns, Australia. So get ready for the crowd to get very loud for him, as well as this rider on the right side of your screen there, Tuhoto Ariki Peni. What do we know about this guy?
Oh, he's the reigning king.
No big deal.
His name says it all. Tuhoto Ariki Peni, actually meaning king in his native language in New Zealand.
Take it from the reigning king Tuhoto, and now check out this youngster. I really want to talk about this kid, Seth Stylie. He's 17, and he knocked out Garrett Meacham. He's a 7th place qualifier. He will be going up against Bas van Steenbergen, the #2 qualifier, the guy who's taken the silver medal both the past 2 years here. What do you think about this kid? Do you think he has what it takes to knock out the former King Bas?
Man, I wouldn't count anybody out, even going up against Bas van Steenbergen. These guys are riding so fast. So I think anything's possible, Cam.
I like it. That's our Cinderella story that we're going to keep our eyes on. Seth Stylie up against Bas van Steenbergen. That will be heat #4. We're going to start things off. They're loading up into the gate right now. It's going to be your #1 qualifier, Ryan Gilchrist, going up against the #8 qualifier. My favorite name in the game here, Harry Bush.
Yeah, Harry going up against the #1 qualifier here. It's going to be a tall order, but Bush, our 8th fastest qualifier, is no slouch himself, so anything's possible here. One little slip up can change everything.
Well, Gilchrist knows how to win it here. He knows how to set his bike up. Let's see what he's riding today.
For the dual slalom, I'm racing Yeti's slalom bike, the Yeti SB135, so a pretty short travel but very, very quick rig. I'm using some of Kenda's faster rolling tires. I'm using a pinner on the front and a regolith on the back. So I really focus on high rolling speeds and a stiff setup to make it as BMX as possible while still being able to attack the flat corners.
Well, it worked just a year ago. It worked earlier today. Based on that #1 next to his name, you know, he was the fastest rider in seeding. Now he's got to get past Harry Bush here in this round of 8 Heat 1 matchup.
Oh, Gilchrist slips a little bit of a pedal there out of the gate. He's on his heels. This is what I'm talking about. It doesn't take much. Gilchrist is really pushing it here, and that's when the mistakes can happen. You get a little bit behind, you start pushing it, you find yourself in a place you haven't been before. Let's see if he can pull it together here, coming around the flat turns.
And he's catching up. Keep in mind, Gilly is on the slow side, but look at, he's making up a lot of ground, not pedaling. I'll bet he doesn't have a chain.
So yeah, I think maybe what happened is his chain popped off out of the gate. That was that mistake that we saw. Definitely would have been taking hard cranks out of that final turn if he could.
We're gonna look left side here right away.
Yeah.
Right away. Look at him get clipped back in so fast.
Yeah, really, really great recovery, but unfortunately from here down, he could pedal, but really doing everything he can to keep up with Harry. Watch this drift. Watch this drift out of Gilchrist into this turn. This is how hard he's going right here. Coming into these flat turns. Double tires sliding. Let's see if we can see it right here. Watch the tires break loose. Look at that thing sliding around the turn. This one comes back the other way.
Watch him pump right here. I can't pedal, so I'm gonna try to just get some speed milked out.
And just getting around that gate. It's okay to hit the gates. The tires just have to be on the correct side, and they'll be good to go.
Talk about fighting from behind. Not only does your chain break out of the gate, you're on the slow course. He was able to keep it pretty close. So I imagine as soon as he puts a new chain on there, we put him on the fast course, he's gonna be looking pretty good.
Yeah, Gilchrist looks focused, but not concerned.
Well, back up to the top now. Heat #2 matchup in our round of 8. This is going to be Jackson Frew, who was 3rd place 2 years ago. Here he's got some hardware from Cairns Slalom. He's gonna be going up against Mick Hanna. Mick has a gold medal from 2 years ago here in slalom. It's been a big day for him already, but turns out this guy has some endurance. He's on the fast course. Here we go.
Yeah, this is going to be an electric heat right here. Definitely something that could be a final. We've maybe even seen this as a final in the past. Jackson with a solid gate down that first straight. He's got about a bike length on Mick, but they're going to come together here right before the shark fin. Mick pulls about half a wheel coming into these big S-turns into the flat turns. Mick able to break a little early and get more acceleration out of that flat turn. And he gets the advantage by 0.249. So super close, but able to bring it back on that last turn. Did you see him break early? Man, the skills that guy oozes out of him is amazing.
That's going to be a tight matchup, though, when they switch sides and Jackson gets on that fast course.
Nothing's a gimme, that's for sure. This is where the experience pays off. Mick been racing his bike maybe as old as Jackson Frew is. Look at this early braking right here, and he's able to square this turn up, and he gets a full 2 pedals out of that final turn. And that's just enough to make that difference.
We got Tuhoto Ariki Peni, left side of your screen right there, the reigning king of Crankworx. He racked up more points than anybody in the men's field in the 2023 season. Qualified third today. Is meeting up with Duke Millington here in this round of 8 matchup.
Both riders looking really even out of the gate, hitting all of those gates as they come through, cutting it as absolutely close and tight as possible. Looks like Tuhoto pulls about half a bike length, but I love it when this course starts to turn. It brings these riders together right down into the Black Snake berms. Side by side, let's see what they can do.
Big mistake out of Millington.
Big mistake out of Millington, and Tuhoto ran just a little wide and barely making it through that last gate. I like to see a little bit of color on Tuhoto. I feel like he's always in black and white, but seeing that color on him looks good.
I know, there's something about his setup right there that, you know, doesn't scream Tuhoto. I think that's what it is. He's running bright colors today. He's a king, he can do whatever he wants.
And let's watch these riders as they come down out of these Black Snake turns, probably doing about 35, 40 miles an hour. It's unbelievable how fast they're going. The sound the tires make around those turns is unbelievable.
Man, the course has changed a ton today.
Absolutely. Now watch these riders. See there, Duke washes the front end, and then watch Tuhoto just barely getting back around.
Getting sneaky. Sneaking around the right side, the appropriate side of that gate.
Reference word again? Yeah.
Thanks, Charlie Bot. There, we got a nice little mountain bike themed riddle.
What's your favorite weather?
It's when it's really good, of course. Thank you, Charlie. Ooh, I like this. This is our youngster here, Seth Stylie. Take a look at his tire setup.
Whatever happens in this run, I feel like Seth's got an advantage on all of us because he's got the name to take him to the top. Seth Stylie belongs on the top of the podium.
We got to get him to sign up for Speed and Style in 2 days. He's running 30 PSI, both those tires right there. 17 years old, you could tell this kid has the skills to potentially be a name we'll be talking about for a while, but in order to move in to the next round of today's competition, he's gonna have to best Bas van Steenbergen, which is no easy task. Bas van Steenbergen, the number 2 qualifier today.
But Seth keeping him completely honest, about half a wheel length ahead of him. Baz is gonna have the inside line right here, so they're gonna come together. Let's see if Seth can carry that momentum out of these Black Snake turns and around the final flat turns. Whoa. Baz with a little bit of a hiccup there. Oh, and Seth washes out. Unfortunately, that's gonna be a 1.5 maximum disadvantage for Seth Stylie, but he's not out. Anything can happen in head-to-head slalom racing. Man, it's nice to know you're leaving it all on the track.
For sure. I looked at this bracket before we had everybody heading up to the top of the course, and I thought, whoever this kid is right here, he's got a huge opportunity. And like you say, it's good to know that he was doing everything within his power to try to capitalize on that opportunity. I thought I saw Baz have a slight mistake right before this, and I thought, here's Seth's opportunity, but then washing out, that's gonna be the 1.5.
You see his back tire coming around that left-hander, just hitting the marbles on the outside. It's like a race car race. You know, you get outside of the groove and it gets slippery. Watch his rear tire and then just boom, washes out. This was not like this in qualifying. This was not like this in the earlier rounds. The sun's kind of been baking that bottom section, and what was soft and tacky before is now slippery and dry.
Well, there we go. Seth Stylie still an opportunity to get back up there, switch courses, and see what happens. You never know. Bass could have a mistake as well. This could be one of those legendary moments that 20 years from today we're looking back on when Seth Stylie broke onto the scene. Speaking of which, let's take a look back at one of our 6 moments that we put together when a pretty big name in the sport got his first Crankworx Slopestyle Joyride win. Take a look.
Brandon, the local boys, Seminar.
He can't throw it down for all you guys. Big truck off that first drop. And another flip bar. Seminick is really pouring it on here at the finals. Bar spin in, truck out.
Here we go.
Combos.
Kokanee Cabin, what's Seminar got for us? What? The flip whip, he's landed it! Brandon Seminick has landed the flip whip right here at Kokanee Crankworx. How good it is to be from Whistler at a moment like this. With a 95.4, much respect for Brandon Seminick!
Think back to that. That was a big deal for him. He'd won a bunch of slopestyle Crankworx events, but he hadn't won the one in his backyard yet. And it was like his Achilles heel. He went on to win 4 more of them, which was impressive. So we chose that as one of our moments.
Yeah, it had to be. Beginning of a big era for him. And hard to believe that that was 13 years ago. That run would play today, I think.
It is insane. And, you know, with Emil just going crazy with racking up all those records, that's one that he's still a little ways away from breaking. 5 Joyride wins. There's just more pressure at that one than any of the other events. And we want you to join the conversation, though. Make sure you let us know which moments we missed. And we're curious who you think is going to win today. We've got, you know, some of the fastest riders in the women's field today. And get on there and give us your answer, because only time will tell. We're moments away. So if you give us the right answer, and then maybe win a shirt. I don't know.
That's worth a shirt. If you can call who wins, maybe Cam will send you a shirt.
Could be worth a shirt. Let's see what you got.
Seems like Jordy's going to go ahead and take this second buy run to take a look at the course, make sure she's ready.
All right, so a bunch more events to come tomorrow. It's all about downhill. Looking back at some footage from last year, you donated some of your protective gear to this course a couple of years ago, Alan.
Yeah, a couple of years ago was what I thought was the race of my life. Actually made it into the live feed, but then tomahawked before I got back in camera after the start. But yeah, this track is amazing here in Cairns. We got Speed and Style, big slam out of Robin there, but she was okay. She got up. Speed and Style, one of the most exciting events and unique events to the Crankworx World Tour, where it combines the speed of the fastest riders in the world and the tricks of some of the most skilled riders out there. And then we got Pump Track, which is always exciting. Head-to-head racing is something you cannot deny. Always a highlight here at the Crankworx World Tour. And then the big show, Cam.
Yeah, you know what? I think the stage is set for this one to be crazy on Sunday. For a few different reasons. The course changes make it look like there's a ton more speed into that last jump, where we've seen that play in a lot the last couple years right there. David Godziak not able to get enough speed. So there's going to be more speed into the last jump. A couple more mega trickable features right before that final Showtime booter, but also they are so ready and raring to go after not competing in Rotorua. But look at our Queen of Crankworx overall standings right now. We were talking about her a little bit earlier, Martha Gill. She's got a very small lead over Shania Rawson.
Yeah, super tight in the Queen rankings. Both riders are here today in this round of 8, so points up for grabs.
So you saw Martha Gill there in our Queen of Crankworx overall standings. She's got a big opportunity to add some more points to that tally here in this specialized dual slalom Cairns. She's going to be going up against Turkovic. She's got just a nice little comfortable 0.3 advantage coming into this second round. Time to get back into some racing here with Shania Rawson and Bella Burchell. Bella with the maximum differential. She's going to have to try to claw her way back She's got that 1.5.
Both riders with clean gates out. Yeah, Bella has that 1.5, but she is on the slightly faster course and a little bit of a head right there of Shania, so she's going for broke. There's nothing to hold back right here. It's go big or go home time for Bella Birchall, our fifth place qualifier. Let's see what she can do coming down to the bottom.
She's on the fast side, but man, she's got 1.5 to make up.
We come down to these technical bottom turns. Shania taking it nice and easy, knowing she had that advantage. That's where the mental side of this head-to-head racing happens. A lot of times you can see your competitor next to you, and you might override when you don't need to. You got to stay calm and know where you're at as far as your differentials from the previous rounds, and I think Rawson did it perfect right there. Our two fastest starts of the day coming out of Shania Rawson as well.
I'd say my favorite part about this dual slalom course is that we've got those flat corners at the very end, so nothing is ever a given. Even if a rider has a 1.5 maximum advantage, those flat corners are so treacherous. We just saw it, you know, a slide out from Seth Stylie. And so once we get down to this bottom section of the course, nothing is given.
Yeah, definitely going to take patience to get through those bottom corners in every round today. Talking about the course, you know, we were talking with Matt Begg from the Flux Trail crew up there earlier. He was talking about how it was really soft in that rhythm section, so they actually added gates into the rhythm section this year. So making the riders have to turn through those rollers as they're pumping and trying to gain momentum off that backside. It's another level of technicality, but I think it's really cool, and it's paying off here. It's really offering some good racing.
We did a little course walk today, and I think that was the thing that piqued our attention the most. Looking at that rhythm section, that is, you know, technical enough just to jump through, but considering you've got to be scrubbing and hipping to make it around those gates in the middle of that rhythm section. So keep your eyes on that section as something that can really shake up and shuffle the deck as well. Our queen contenders duking it out here in our specialized dual slalom cans. Martha Gill on the fast course, but with 0.32 to make up in order to make it into the round of 4 here against Eleni Turkovic.
And Martha's such a veteran in this category here in slalom. She's podiumed at Crankworx World Tours many times. So awesome to see her out here. One of the things you got to do in these races, you got to build your day. You can't start out with your fastest run. You got to build. Your last run of the day has got to be the fastest. But right now, Martha's got to get on the gas because Turkovic is on the gas. What can she do? Foot out, fly out, Martha. She has to skateboard across the line. What's it going to be?
Oh, man, she needed 0.32. She only got 0.2. So Eleni Turkovic is going to knock out the leader of the queen overall right now, Martha Gill.
Looks like Martha having a little bit of a drive chain issue, similar to what we saw happen a little bit earlier with Gilchrist, and she was not able to pedal out of that last turn. She was kind of scootering out of there, not enough. Turkovic right here just threw down on these snake turns. You can see her backpedaling out of the turn to get her feet set right for that flat turn. Such a smart move. Rather than pedaling forward and going into those turns too fast, she's backpedaling and just taking her time and easing through, and it was just enough to bump out Martha Gill.
Well, there we go. Some potential points just floating away from Martha Gill right there, and a big opportunity for Turkovic. So, I mean, what we do is we go around the world and we find riders who may potentially make a huge name for themselves. Turkovic right now knocking out Martha Gill. She's going to be going up against Cassie Voicey in the next matchup. So this might be another one of those instances that I was hoping to see with Seth Stylie right there, where we see a little bit of a David and Goliath scenario and get some you know, some real shakeups to the queen overall as well.
Yeah, definitely. These lesser known names, once they start getting through the brackets, the confidence builds. They start letting off the brakes and they start sending it a little bit harder. And that can surely shake up that top 3 that we saw for the queen standings.
For sure. So it sounds like we're taking a look at a potential missed gate right now. We got our officials out on the course trying to take a peek. So another personality trait of dual slalom is as soon as you think you know what's happening, somebody may have missed a gate and we may have more to the story. So we're listening in right now to see if Turkovic is actually going to be the one moving through.
They're deliberating.
So we got the men's field up there ready to take their second run of the round of 8 here. Oh, it's for the men's category that we're looking at a potential missed gate here.
Let's look at Baz. We know Stylie went down. And Baz seems
good
to get through both of those.
Maybe
bottom
Stylie got
ones.
up and didn't go around the gate the right way. That would be a rookie mistake. Now, he looks like he's gonna be good. Does he go through the wrong finish line now?
I don't know if you caught that comment there from the chat, but it might be one of the best ones. Semenuk and Johansson on the same bike. What would be your best tandem slopestyle duo?
So that's their pick, is Semenuk and Emil. That'd be tough to be right there. All right, I'm gonna go with Reeder and Nikolai.
That would be an unbelievable combo.
Bring it.
We must be looking at Baz here.
Synchronized swimming. Yeah, maybe it was higher up the course.
Let's watch Baz's tires. What do we got? Oh, that front tire right there. That was, you called out that mistake. And he did kind of raise his head there at the finish line. So it's interesting. That front tire, when he lost that rear wheel traction, it kind of pushed him over.
Here we go. We're really going to be able to see here.
There, he loses the front end, and it oversteers him. And
Oh, no way.
It does look like he missed it.
Man, I remember seeing something fishy happen when we were watching it live. And I was thinking, woo, that's the opportunity there for Seth. Seth went down. We kind of took our attention off of that.
It was interesting. It didn't look like his front tire pushed. It was more like it bounced. Something happened when he was coming in there. He bounced out, and it caused him to oversteer and go just on the inside of that gate.
Replay review of that final run between Baz and Seth Stylie. That last gate.
Baz would not be out in this case. Okay, this might be the angle where we see. Watch the front tire. That's what we're paying attention to. He breaks traction a little bit, and it bounces right there. And then
Baz.
it catches and oversteers him just to the inside.
Oh, Baz. I think the security camera just caught you shoplifting. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, there's like a shadow there, too. It's so hard to tell what's what. No wonder they're spending so much time with this. Ooh, watching that pole on the business end. Okay, we just got confirmation. They ruled that he did miss the gate there. So we did have a 1.5 in favor of Baz, and now this missed gate is going to, would typically put a 1.5 on Baz. So I guess we're gonna have a drag race in the second run. We're gonna wait for some official word from
with our young gun, the potential heartbreaker.
I don't know, I got
on
that
the fast course.
I had that feeling about Seth Stylie when I watched him riding in the round at 16, where I went, man, this kid looks fast, he looks composed. Maybe he could be somebody to shake things up today.
Yeah, he's no stranger to doing well at these events. The Crankworx Summer Series last year, 2023, he was able to sweep all the downhill in the junior category.
Well, we're gonna get the next heat loaded up in the gate, but first, Alan, I wanted to ask you, I mean, it's a big deal to have trails to ride. Without trails to ride, we would be pedaling around in parking lots. So what is Specialized doing in order to make sure the riding community here has all they need to be able to enjoy their time in the rainforest?
Well, not just the riding community here, but the riding community around the whole world, right? What do you need most to have good mountain biking? You gotta have trails. So that's a really, with soil searching and Specialized, we really try to put that focus on the people out there building the trails and the people volunteering their time.
So dig days give us the opportunity as trail builders to share some of our knowledge with the local riding community and help benefit their local trails.
What soil searching does for the mountain bike community is get everybody on the same trail, so everybody understands that trails need to be sustainable, built correctly, and need that ongoing maintenance.
Dig days are really cool for local trails. They just bring the whole community together and everyone really gets to see an insight into what happens behind the scenes.
Soil searching and dig days are such an element that adds to mountain biking. So lucky today to have Quarterfinal and Flux Trail and World Trail really supporting and giving that knowledge back to the community. This is an awesome way to help our club and our trails survive through these wet seasons and any season. But if you can't come out and dig, another way to donate to the trail is to donate to our trail fund. We've got a constant run of maintenance going in the park, so that trail fund supports what we do here in a dig day.
We're also focusing on the environment surrounding the trails. We had a bunch of volunteers plant over 300 trees, and they're going to help shade the area, prevent weeds from growing, and make the trail surround look even better.
Really cool just to see everyone come together and still create a really cool piece of trail.
I'd like to say a massive thanks to Specialized for allowing us to run these dig days, and also a huge thanks to everyone who showed up today.
Good stuff. A look at where we sit right now in our men's field. #1 qualifier, Ryan Gilchrist, with a half second to make up. But if I remember correctly, he's going to be on that fat side of the course. We got Mick Hanna with the advantage over Frew. A lot of tight ones here, and then we've got that crazy 1.5 scenario for our last heat of this round of 8 bracket. It's going to be interesting to see what happens on that one. But Ryan Gilchrist right now, 0.58 to make up. He is on the fast course. Here we go.
Let's see if Harry can keep the pressure on our #1 qualifier, Gilchrist. Rockets out of the gate. He is in the zone. The first rider I've seen almost clear that jump. So much speed into it. This is where it's all gonna spool up and come down in these snake turns. Looks like Harry having a little bit of an issue down there, but it's not over yet. Gilchrist has to hold on in these flat turns.
Gilchrist needs 0.58. What does he get? He is safe. Ryan Gilchrist in to the round of 4.
So Gilchrist surviving the deficit in the second heat, really laying it down in that run, probably having to push it a little bit harder than he wanted to this early in the competition.
It's got to be so hard to know how hard to push when you are on the fast course, but I mean 0.58, when you know that's what you have to make up, you're going to push a little bit harder than you typically would, just knowing you're fighting from behind. It's the first time we've really seen somebody actually give a good attempt at clearing that tabletop. The run-in so tech, course has been wet all day. Kind of loving some of these changes to the course this year.
Yeah, talking about knowing how hard to push. That's one of the hard things. 0.5 is just about the distance where you can't see your competitor. So right now, Gilchrist doesn't know if the rider that he needs to beat is more than 0.5 behind him or not. So he's having to push all the way to the finish, which is definitely risky on a course like this.
Ryan, we were just watching a replay of that run. We were thinking it's probably hard to know how hard to push when you are on the fast side, but you are behind. What was it like dropping into that one?
Full gas, mate, full gas. Look, it's you never really know, especially in these upper rounds of these events. Every single race could be a final, and when there's time to make up, it's time to throw down the hammer and give it everything I got. So, brought out the big tabletop jump for that final lap there against Harry Bush, and yeah, paid off for me.
We're seeing you're ready to go faster every single run. We're excited to see how far you can take that #1 seeding spot. Way to go, moving it through to the round of 4 there, Gilly.
Thank you very much, Cam.
Back up to the top. Now we got Jackson Frew going up against Mick Hanna, the man who won here just 2 years ago. The #4 qualifier out here today. Jackson Frew with a 1/4 of a second to make up. He is on the fast course.
Pressure's definitely on for Jackson here. You know he wants to have a good showing. Definitely one of the riders chasing those king standings. Looks like he's got about a bike length on Mick. What can Mick do? Both riders coming out of the shark fin clean and into the snake turns. This is where things get dicey. Oh, a little bit of a push with that front tire.
Needed 0.249. He gets 0.9. Jackson Frew is gonna do it, sending Mick Hanna to the showers. That's all right, he's already picked up a gold medal today.
Can we drop that first one? I got my hand again.
Ooh. Listen in there. It sounds like Jackson Frew talking about one of the flags, one of the gates, clipping his hand on it. We were hearing last night at dinner from Mikey Hatterer, who is our on-site event MC out there. He was involved in placing these flags, and he said, guess what? We made it hard. We put some pretty crazy flag placements in. There is the one that Jackson was talking about. That's also the one that Bass missed, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it might be unrelated. Baz was pretty clear he had lost some front tire traction. Yep. And that was what his issue was. But yeah, you did see that little wiggle out of Jackson. I think his hand caught it. Mick, always a big smile. I don't know many people that have as much fun as Mick riding bikes.
Well, think about Jackson. The hand scenario for him as well. I believe it was a farm accident where he damaged his hand. Wasn't even sure if he was going to be able to hold on to the handlebar. So the fact that he's racing is insane. I'm curious if that's the same hand that just made contact with that gate. But we got Tsuhoto Ariki Peni, the reigning king of Crankworx, with a .87 advantage, and he's on the fat side.
Yeah, going to be a tall order for Duke here. He's going to have to pull back that time. Tsuhoto not making it easy for him, getting the whole shot. He's got about a bike and a half length lead. As you mentioned, Cam, he is on that faster course. Now he's just got to have to be smart. Keep that gap, don't override it, get through these flat turns and on to the next round.
Easy. Tsuhoto Ariki Peni knocks out Duke Millington, secures himself a spot into the semifinals.
I think the key to those bottom turns, Cam, is you have to slow down to go faster, which is one of the hardest things to do while you're racing, and especially in a head-to-head race.
So counterintuitive. To go faster, I gotta go slow. No, I don't want to go slow.
I remember the first time I heard that. Slow down to go faster. You just go cross-eyed. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's definitely the case for these bottom corners. Tsuhoto greasing them like a champ. No big surprise. He's the man wearing the crown from a successful 2023 season. Tsuhoto looking good out there, man. Congrats on that #3 qualifying spot. Talk to me about how much the course has changed throughout the day today.
Yeah, I don't know. It's changed a little bit. It's just been like wet and then it's drying up better and better now. So it's running faster and faster. It's sick.
Well, you're looking good. We were talking about those final corners. Alan was noticing that you got good technique coming into that.
Yeah. Talk to me a little bit about that. How is it to have to be patient going into those turns when you know you're having to push, you have another rider next to you? Is it a case of slow down to go faster, or are you just sending it all the way through?
Just kind of like hitting those first corners and then the flat ones, just trying to chill and just like flow through them good. That's about it, really.
Yeah, keeping it smooth is definitely going to be the key down there. Well, good luck.
Thank you, brother.
Here we go. This one I got a lot of questions about right here. So we got Bas van Steenbergen. He's got 2 silver medals from this event the past 2 years. So he's no stranger to this course. Then we got the young gun out here, the 17-year-old Seth Stylie. We're giving Bas van Steenbergen the disadvantage here. So a stronger penalty for missing a gate than there is for crossing the finish line more than a second and a half behind. So Seth Stylie on the fast course with a second and a half advantage. Man, hold it together, Seth.
All Seth needs to do is keep Baz in his side view. Is this the moment that Seth Stylie breaks onto the scene and becomes a regular? Anything can happen right here. He keeps it smooth and does exactly what he needs to do. Catches Bas van Steenbergen out.
I was gonna say, does he have the discipline and the composure to stay chill in that scenario? And he does.
Yeah, he did everything he needed to do and nothing he didn't. Keeping Baz right there in the corner's vision, even having a little bit of a lead right there on that faster course. Getting 2 full pedals in across that tabletop. There's those S-turn rhythm sections, super technical there, off the little mini cannon. And they come off the Dongle Jarginji right here, the shark fin into the snake turns. The G-forces that they're pulling in those turns are unbelievable.
Yeah, that hardtail underneath Seth Stylie working pretty well in those big banked berms, but here in these flat corners, so much more challenging. We saw him slide out and run #1. If you think back to last year, Bass was forced to ride a hardtail here as well, was able to carry that hardtail all the way up to the second step of the podium. So will history repeat itself, putting another hardtail on the podium here, this time just under a different rider. Bas van Steenbergen says, all right, well, I got more events to go here in Cairns. Stylie will go up against Tohoto Ariki Peni. And then we're gonna have Gilchrist and Frew. Look at this, we got a couple riders from the Southern Hemisphere here in our Final Four, don't we?
Yeah, definitely. Those Australian and New Zealand riders are doing their best out here. It's going to be awesome to see this go through. We got some mismatches here. We got riders coming up. We got 1 and 5 going against each other. This is some good racing. I'm liking it.
I'm excited to see what happens. And I'm also excited to look back, considering we're on our 50th Crankworx Festival. We just reminisced over when Brandon Semina got that monkey off his back and won his first Red Bull Joyride. That monkey was kind of on the back of Emil Johansson for a while as well, until this moment.
Johansson, we saw him rocket ship back to the podium after trying so hard to battle illness and get back on tour.
Oh, that double truck to down whip is my favorite Emil Johansson trick that he has in his bag. And there are so many, like that flip double whip right there, bar spin in. Emil getting another great run in right here at Red Bull Joyride, coming into the Kokanee Whale Tail.
If he holds this together, 360 tail whip in, come on. And opposite.
Wow! His name is Emil Johansson. We call him the future of the sport. Will this be the year he wins the biggest event? He is now the man to beat.
And just think about what that started, right?
Yeah,
Insane.
landslide, that's what it started.
Yeah, 13 Crankworx Slopestyle wins, 3 Triple Crowns. We're gonna be excited to see him take to the course on Sunday. Well, when people are down here in Australia, whether you're from Sweden like Emil, or you might even just be an Australian, this is a very different part of the country. There's a lot to do here. Let's take a look at how Bailey Mears spends his downtime here in Cairns.
I reckon I could take it. I've got it.
So if you look to your far left, so this is our Bundu Gunjara, our crocodile mountain. So you can see its snout with its head. So these particular mangroves were also used for natural dye, for our weaving, and they were also used to build spears and for our canoes.
The leaf was also used for cooking purposes, so what they'll do with that there, obviously grab a whole lot of them, really big lot, wrap the fruit up and then basically chuck it on the cub murrays.
This country still surprises me how everything has a reason, everything does something. You look at a plant and it's a different thing. It's still mind-boggling.
Truly unique area of the world we're lucky enough to be able to visit out here every year on the Crankworx World Tour. Even people who call Australia home are blown away by what you see out here in North Queensland. Bailey Mears, number 9 qualifier in slalom today, unfortunately taking a crash in one of the earlier rounds. So Bailey Mears, will look forward to seeing him back on the World Tour once he's healed up. But let's take a look at our women's brackets right now. We're gonna have Jordy Scott going up against Shania Rawson. Then Turkovic and Voicey. We're getting down to the business end of this specialized dual slalom Cairns, Alan.
Yeah, Heat 1's looking really, really competitive. If you recognize those names, it's because you saw them in the Queen of Crankworx standings. So they're battling not only for their survival in this race, but also for those Queen points.
Thinking back to how the story shook down just a year ago out here, May 2023, it was all about Harriet Burbage Smith, the Australian, in front of a supportive crowd out here going up against Martha Gill. She was able to put it together, grab the win. Of course, things changing here in the 2024 season. A lot of our big names in the women's field deciding to focus on slopestyle. We're going to have a new winner out here today. The big question, who's it going to be? Right now, Shania Rawson, your number 4 qualifier, loaded up in the gate against the number 1 qualifier, Jordy Scott. Their run #1 matchup is women's round of 4.
So awesome to see Jordy Scott back on the full tour. Had to miss a couple of events last year due to injury, but she's looking fit, she's looking healthy, and really going fast here today on this Cairns course. These riders unbelievably matched up side by side, coming off of the cannon. Nothing between these riders. Shania Rawson on that slightly faster course. You see Jordy Scott gapping down off the shark fin, bringing that momentum in. Let's see if she can round this turn off and bring up this gap as much as she can. 0.663, that is not a small margin on this track. Shania Rawson pushing our #1 qualifier to the limit.
Well, keep in mind, Shania Rawson on the fast course that run, so Jordy Scott will have the opportunity to switch sides, get on that fast course, try to make up that 0.663 disadvantage. Jordy already having a successful slalom season here on the 2024 Crankworx World Tour, picking up the bronze medal at stop #1 just 2 months ago in Rotorua, New Zealand. Like you mentioned at the start of this run, that injury recovery was a substantial one. That took her a long time to work her way back. So it's great to see her not only be back on tour, but pick up some success at stop #1. See if she can carry that momentum here in stop #2.
Well, she's got her work cut out for her. Shania Rawson taking that win in the first heat. Nothing's for free out here on the Crankworx World Tour.
Shania took 4th place, stop #1 this year.
Caroline, give us a wave on live.
There we go, Caroline Buchanan. We're used to seeing her line up for this dual slalom race, but she's one of those athletes who's decided to focus on the trickier aspects on the Crankworx World Tour, the speed and style and the slope style. We got a tire check here for Cassie Voicy and Assegai in the front.
Some of you might see those PSIs there, 45 PSI front and rear. Why are they doing that? It's a balance out here. You gotta have some really hard, fast tires to get that speed and momentum. But as the track's drying out and the traction's changing, that might not be the way to go. So, gotta keep your head on a swivel out here. On the wind picking up right there, Cassie almost getting blown over, but able to make a strong recovery and gets that hole shot. Laying it down through the curved rhythm section. Extending that lead right now. Our 2nd place qualifier, Cassie Voicy.
Oh, that is the wrong foot you want off.
A little bit of excitement there coming into that finish line. Getting greeted by the 2-time queen right there.
Getting loose down there at the bottom.
Definitely. And right here, watch how strong Cassie is through here. Just catching those backsides, just skimming through those jumps, not wasting any time.
I love watching them have to corner through that rhythm section, turning all those jumps into hips.
Must feel so good.
Here we go. This is where she was taking that top foot off around this corner. Let's see what happened. That was a very interesting. Did she miss that gate? I think she's good.
Hard to tell. She ran straight into it, that's for sure. That might be why that top foot was coming off.
Yeah, she was facing the wrong way and went, oh boy. She's good there too.
That counts. All right, let's see what we got here. Hard to tell from that angle. I don't know.
Counter steer.
If I had to say, I think she was in by the way that the pole moved towards the inside of the turn, which kind of lets me think that her tire hit it and knocked it that way.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you're looking for a scenic shot, they're not too hard to come by out here.
Yeah, plenty of scenic shots around here. The Great Barrier Reef, one of the 7 wonders of the world, one of the few things you can see from space. Just amazing, amazing territory up here in northern Queensland.
They don't call it the Good Barrier Reef, and there's a reason. Look at that. Magnificent Barrier Reef. Men's brackets right now. Ryan Gilchrist, your #1 qualifier, going up against Jackson Frew. Surprised to even have him out here after that hand injury. What a champion. Speaking of champions, we got the reigning king, Tohoto Ariki Peni, going up against the Grom, Seth Stylie, the 17-year-old who slayed the Dragon, Bass Van Steenbergen, kind of found one in the street. He was going fast, worked hard to get there, knocking out Garrett Meacham. Let's take a look back at the winning run from 1 year ago. We got the same man at the top as who took the gold last year, Ryan Gilchrist. This final run was against Bass. Look at that. So that's what you can expect to see as we continue to just ramp things up in today's competition. We heard Ryan say it in that headset interview. He plans to just keep going faster and faster throughout the day.
The exuberance of youth. He's just gonna send it.
Yeah, and that is always his mindset. We actually caught up with him about when the pressure gets strong, and he had this to say.
When the heat's turned up and the pressure's on in the finals, I really just focus on riding like Ryan, making sure that I execute and just treat it like another moto, because I know at the end of the day that if I keep my ground and make sure that I don't try and do anything I haven't already done before, we'll be able to pull through.
I think when he just rides like Ryan, it has a tendency to work out really well. He's riding like Ryan today. He's got the #1 next to his name. He's on the slow course right now against Jackson Frew. Both of them picking up wins last season. Gilly, of course, right here. We saw that replay moments ago. Jackson won in Whistler last year. They're off and running, Alan.
It looks like they got the exact same start time, both coming up green on the hole shot, but Gilchrist able to gap just a little bit over Jackson as they come in off the shark fin. This is where the miles per hour are really gonna pick up. Gilchrist slightly ahead. Now he's gonna have to shut it down and get around these final turns. And Jackson able to just squeak by with a .191 on that faster course. I think it's that last turn, just slightly more inside.
I'd say job well done right there for Gilchrist, being on that slower course and keeping it that tight. You see, he did not go for clearing that tabletop this time. I wonder if it's easier on the left than it is the right.
Yeah, that soft ruddy patch that we saw was that first turn on the white course, so that might be why he's not sending the tabletop gap on that side. Just look at how clean and fast these riders are through the black snake turns. Brown snake, even more dangerous.
If you look back at that shot from last year's final, it was so much dustier a year ago. A lot of rain the past few weeks out here in North Queensland. Definitely helping out those flat corners this year.
Yeah, that last left-hand turn out of Jackson where he squirted right in front of him. That's the fastest time of the day out of Jackson Frew right there. I don't know where he got that traction from, and I don't know if that's going to happen again for the rest of the night, but that last left-hand turn is what got him the win on that one. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, this is great right here. I love those David and Goliath stories. Right now, you literally have the king here, Tehoto Ariki Peni. Left side of your screen, we got Seth Stylie, 17-year-old Australian looking to slay another dragon.
We see there his average finish is 12th place, but that average is going to be going up. Let's see how much. Oh, he gets a little bit off rhythm. Gets a little bit off rhythm, but he's able to maintain. He's got a slight lead on Tehoto. Pedaling into the brown snake turns.
He's on a single speed too.
He absolutely is. Laying it down, puts his head down and throws the bike forward for the win.
A kick and a ride.
This is an opportunity to be this far in the brackets. He's going to do everything he can. You don't think the conditions have changed? Look at his helmet from earlier today.
Oh yeah.
That's mud splatter.
That changed a little bit. It was full-on mud bog this morning. Rained all last night.
That was a good line out of Tehoto. I hadn't seen anyone else do that. He actually gapped over those soft ruts in the first turn. I don't know if that is the reason why Smiley got the gap or not, but smart move out of Tehoto.
Good eye.
Just not enough for Smiley. This is an opportunity. This is how names get made.
I mean, he was winding out those pedal strokes. So I started looking closer. You get a great view on it right here. Take a look. Single speed, no gears to choose from. I guess less to worry about. But that is 100% not the ideal bike setup for this race, and he is really making it work for himself. Crossing the finish line, they're 0.19 ahead of Tohoto Ariki Peni, albeit on the fast course, but he really is doing everything within his power to knock Tohoto out here in this round of 4 matchup.
You see that smile out of Tohoto? He's appreciating the moment and what's happening right now for Stylie.
Oh, he's been there.
Cool to see.
Absolutely. Well, we talked about Jordy Scott not only being the #1 qualifier in today's event, but she grabbed a bronze medal at the first stop of this year's season. We talked about what her favorite event was. Listen up.
Right now, my favorite event to compete in is dual slalom. I used to be not very good at it, and it's been something that's been super fun to get better at, and I feel like every time I race it, I kind of get to feel like I'm progressing. And yeah, I'm hoping, I've only actually ever got one or two podiums in slalom, so excited to try to keep that going, and right now that's one of my favorites.
Well, like we say, she got a bronze medal the first stop this season. She did make it into the bronze medal matchup 2 years ago here in Cairns. She obviously likes this course based on that #1 qualifying position, but right now she's got 0.663 to make up. She's on the fast course. Let's see if she can do it. She's going up against Shania Rawson.
Yeah, this is go big or go home right here for Jordy. Both riders getting the exact same start time, so dead even out of the gate. Jordy using that faster course to her advantage right now. She's got a little bit of a gap right now over Shania. So Shania is gonna have to send it down these last turns.
Keep in mind, 0.663 is what she needs. Is she gonna do it? It's gonna be close. What's that number gonna be? She does it. Jordy Scott moving into the gold medal matchup, sending Shania Rawson into the bronze medal matchup.
That's the second tied hole shot that we've seen today. So the competition is extremely close here. These riders are pushing each other faster and faster. Jordy able to pull it together in advance. Just riding that razor thin edge here on these flat turns on the bottom. You see the tires breaking loose, the corrections getting made, using every bit of those little tire knobbies that she's got.
Jordy, you talk about how dual slalom wasn't originally the discipline that you thought was your strength, but look at the results you're racking up. You're not doing too shabby today. What do you attribute this to?
Honestly, I spent an entire off season at one point just trying to figure out how to flat corner and watch some moto guys, and that was like the thing that did it for me. So happy to have those a little figured out. These ones are tricky, but doing what we can out there.
Well, it's an understatement to say that you're settling into your slalom stride right now, so congrats on making it into that gold medal matchup. Good luck moving forward.
Thank you.
Letting the little
flat
secret
corners,
out,
man. It's
letting
all
the
about
secret
those
out of
flat
the bag
corners.
right there. Been watching the moto guys. I love that. I love that.
That's the trick right there. Get your favorite spot on the couch on Saturday morning. Watch that Supercross. Getting close to the outdoor season now, too. I'm sure she's not going to miss any of that.
I think next week is starting.
Ooh, exciting. I'm excited for this one right here. Eleni Turkovic, she's got just under a second to make up. Alongside Cassie Voicey.
Cassie not making it easy. You see that green bar? That is the hole shot. She got the snap out of the gate. Gonna have to keep it mistake-free here for Cassie. Turkovic gonna push all the way to the bottom. It's not a small gap to make up, but nothing's over. Oh, big drift.
So, Cassie Voicey, successful here. Able to back up that second place seeding result. Secure herself a spot in the gold medal matchup.
Solid start out of Cassie, doing exactly what she needs to do. Just keeping her rider right to the left of her, just a little bit behind. She had the gap going in to that advantage, but she didn't hold back. That's one of the things, one of the mistakes we've seen in slalom when you have, you know, a bye run or, you know, a rider crashes and you shut it down right away. That momentum that you've been building the entire event is now stopped. So she's not gonna leave anything to waste. She's laying it down. She's making sure she's advancing. and she's building all the way into the next round.
Yeah, if you can find that rhythm, you do not want to get out of the groove. And it's going to be a good gold medal matchup there between Jordy Scott and Cassie Voisey.
You can see the fatigue in Cassie's face right there. These are 20, 30-second runs.
That's a long day, too.
That's how hard they're pushing.
There we have it. Bronze medal matchup's going to look like Shania Rawson going up against Turkovic. And then the number 1 and 2 qualifiers backing up those seeding results. We'll meet up in the gold medal matchup, Jordy Scott and Cassie Voisey. Well, we are going to have a new winner here compared to last year's results. Of course, Harriet Burbage-Smith took the gold last year. Martha Gill took the silver. We saw Martha get eliminated in that round of 8. Now back to the men, loaded in the gate. Jackson Frew, left side of your screen. Ryan Gilchrist. Really tight matchup here. We got 0.19 in favor of Jackson Frew, but Gilly's looking quick. We heard it right from the horse's mouth that he's looking to just leave it all out there as fast as he can go. He's on the fast course, trying to make a 0.19.
Yeah, almost nothing in it between these riders.
Oh.
Jackson getting the whole shot, so getting the first stage done. Gilly goes to that table, clears it nicely. Let's see how that momentum will carry here.
Ryan Gilchrist, so powerful on the bike.
If there's anybody that can out-flat corner another rider, it's going to be Jackson. Let's see what he can do here.
The number is
he didn't push it.
Mistake. What's it going to be? He makes it up. Ryan Gilchrist advances into the gold medal matchup, but he almost threw it away.
Yeah, you can see Frew smelled blood there on that last turn.
Man.
And Gilchrist just squeaking by 0.2 of a second for the fastest run of the day over his competitor here, Jackson Frew.
You see him pedal manual through those first rollers out of the start gate?
Yeah.
Let's see if he clears it. Oh, just maybe an inch short.
Gilchrist he's getting faster and faster, not just every run, but every section of the track. It's unbelievable to watch.
I mean, that bike setup is perfect for this course as well. What did he say, 135 mils of travel?
Yeah, 135, I think about 150. He loses it there, but he doesn't even stop pedaling somehow. Look at the cranks, they keep going the whole time.
He needed 0.19, he almost threw it away there. He ended up crossing with 0.5, so definitely happy he saved on that second to last gate. Yeah, look at that. I think it's that right hand. Yeah, that Jackson Frew has been babying. We gotta give it to Jackson Frew for even showing up here after that hand injury. He will not be done today. He'll suit up again for the bronze medal matchup, and we're about to find out who he will be alongside in the gate. Will it be Seth Stylie or Tohoto Ariki Peni? Seth Stylie right now on the slow course, but he has 0.129 ahead of Tohoto. Tohoto is going to be charging here from the fast course.
Both riders with a solid first straight. Tohoto with a slight hole shot, not much in it. Stylie is going to have to push, give it everything he's got here, and he is doing just that. You see him spinning out that single speed. Tohoto extending his lead, coming into the flat turns. Let's see what he can do. Shuts it down and keeps it unbelievably clean across the line.
Going to do it without a doubt. Seth Stylie, still an opportunity to grab a bronze medal. He'll go up against Jackson Frew. Tohoto, we're sending him into that gold medal matchup, going up against Gilly.
Seth Stylie getting eliminated right there, but coming across the line with a smile on his face, kind of giggling. You just went up against and almost eliminated the king. You are in this.
A good day for Seth Stylie, and the day is still not over. Got a chance to bring home some hardware here. But the stage is set for our bronze medal matchup, our gold medal matchup. It's gonna be a good one.
Something I'm starting to notice here for Tohoto as he's exiting the brown snake turns coming into these flat turns. We've been talking about controlling the speed. Well, he's doing something that's really cool. As he's slowing down, he's also diving to the very inside of the turns. So not only is he slowing down to make the final flat turn smoother, he's insiding and shortening his course as he's exiting those brown snake turns. Super, super smart move.
Yeah, a lot of racing as it takes place inside that helmet, and Tohoto is very much turning into a veteran right now who's got the whole package, all the physical ability and the mental strength to put it all together. Big question will be who's going to put it together when the pressure is on. That gold medal matchup between Gilchrist, Peni, the bronze medal matchup between Fru and Stylie. Don't go away. Look at that. It's the gorge right there. Beautiful Mosman Gorge. Plenty of sights to see and a lot of creative ways to see them here. Take a look at this tourist gondola. What a unique spot we have here on this planet. Crankworx, Cairns. How lucky we are to bring mountain biking all around the world. We kicked off the tour for the 10th year in a row visiting Rotorua, New Zealand. Now here we are, northeastern Australia and Cairns, and just, I don't know, 3 weeks from now, we'll be in Europe, in the Alps, June 12th through the 16th, Innsbruck, Austria. And then we will cap it off where it all began, Whistler, British Columbia, the birthplace of the Crankworx World Tour, the birthplace of the sport of slopestyle for mountain biking. And that one goes off. If you can make it, come join us. It's gonna be good.
Arguably the heartbeat of gravity mountain biking, pumping right out of Whistler Valley.
I like it. Look at this, we got a heat loading up into the gate. It's going to be run number 1 of our bronze medal matchup. There we go, Xavier, go Tohoto. I agree, man, it's pretty hard not to root for Tohoto. He's always been one of my favorites, and to see him be as successful as he has been the past couple seasons, I root for him here on the Crankworx World Tour. And I root for him when I see him racing the World Cups. He's a cool dude and a great bike racer. So thanks for the comments. Keep them coming, people. What do we have? What else do we have here?
We got another joke here from Charlie.
Let's hear it.
Where did the mountain biker get lost? The Bermuda Triangle.
Charlie's got a million of them. Charlie, you making these up or you Googling these? Shania Rawson, left side of your screen, going up against Eleni Turkovic. Battling it out for a bronze medal. This is run number 1.
4th and 6th place qualifiers, so these riders are very, very evenly matched up. But this is not the same track that they qualified on, as we talked about. Let's see what they can do coming down off of the cannon. Railing the turns into the shark fin. These riders are side by side, and it's going to tighten up here. The inside lane coming into these flat turns is just slightly faster, which makes it that much harder to stay in line.
Shania on the slower course, crossing the finish line first by just 0.119.
You see these riders coming off the brown snake turns, basically playing a game of chicken with the flat turns, just trying to pick that latest possible breaking point. But the problem is if you get around that first turn with a little too much speed, you don't have enough, or you have too much speed for the second turn. So it's really a game of chess out here. Like a rapid game of chess.
Quick chess. Shania Rawson, familiar territory. She was in the bronze medal matchup just a year ago here. No, sorry, actually Rotorua just 2 months ago. Bronze medal matchup, just barely missing that 3rd place spot to Jordy Scott. Opportunity to grab the medal this time. She's got the advantage on the slow course. You got to think that's gonna make you feel pretty good knowing you get to load up into the gate on that fast course with a little bit of an advantage. Oh man, she was heading straight for that gate.
Both riders just barely getting around that last gate.
Diabolical placement on those gates, and I love it. Oh yeah. This is something that I am excited to watch right here. I'm not going anywhere. You shouldn't either, because this is run number 1 of the bronze medal matchup for the men. Jackson Fru, left side of your screen, going up against the youngster, 17-year-old Australian, Seth Stylie.
Seth, if you can hear me, the worst thing you could do is get 4th place, so it's time to send it, my man.
Seth Stylie's from New Zealand. Look at that flag. I call him an Aussie. We're meeting this kid right now because he's about to burst onto the scene. Will he do it with a medal? Oh, a little bit of a stutter step in the gate.
Yeah, he went a little bit early, but still managed to get the hole shot somehow. Quite a recovery out of the gate. But Jackson just laying down the horsepower through the rhythm sections. Stylie's gonna pull up next to him on the inside right here, and it's all gonna come down to the slingshot out of these brown snake turns into the flat turns. There's no way Seth's gonna hit his brakes. He's got a wheel on Jackson.
Seth Stylie crossing the finish line first on the fast side. Tight one there, 0.139.
How did he survive that start?
I for sure thought he was gonna have to put a foot down. Here we go.
It went from me thinking he was about to flip over the bars to him getting the whole shot.
Usually you do. I mean, if you go too early and you're pushing right up against into that gate, usually you see people flip over the bars. It worked out for him. He had all that momentum.
And right here is where he needs to be patient, but he has the wheel on Jackson, so you know he needs to be perfect through these turns. Gets back on the pedals as soon as he straightens out, barely getting around, and shoves the bike forward, lunges. That first tire across the finish line will stop the beam. And that's why you see these riders just lunging their front tires forward as they come across the finish line.
I can't wait to see more of this kid, Seth Stylie. We're of course gonna get to see him in another matchup here, but judging by the fact that he swept the Australia Crankworx Summer Series last year in downhill, and the fact that he's riding a dirt jump bike, I gotta imagine we're gonna see him in speed and style. I gotta imagine we may see him in downhill. Right now we're seeing Jordy Scott and Cassie Voisey for run number 1 of the gold medal matchup.
Number 1 and number 2 qualifiers. This is what we like to see. The fastest riders of the morning are now meeting head to head in the fastest race of the night. Jordy with a slight hole shot, but she gets a little front end heavy on the tabletop, and Cassie pulls right alongside and slightly ahead. 0.033 at the split, so there's nothing between these riders. Gonna be pushing all the way to the finish line. Cassie with a slight advantage on that inside line, drifts the rear tire all the way around. She's able to dance around that final gate. How did she come back around that? That was
We're
magic.
saying that with every matchup right now. These final straightaway flags are so vicious.
Where her front tire was pointed when she was about 2 feet in front of that last gate would tell you that there's no possible way she's gonna make it around. But you can see she kept her eyes on the prize and kept her head exactly where she wanted to go, and that gave her the opportunity to pull the bike back in. But let's see how she got there. Watch Jordy right here has a little bit of a nose heavy, so she's not able to pedal right there. She missed a full pedal, and that was what gave Cassie that opportunity to get that half a wheel ahead. Jordy really laying down the power and actually getting some of that time back. Pay attention to Cassie's front tire on the last gate of the course.
Right side of your screen here.
Here she comes through. Watch where her tire's pointing about 2 feet before, and she somehow just dances the bike around. Right there, right there.
Yeah, she willed it.
Look where her head is.
Look at that. Oh, she even did a little hop. Yeah, that was flirting with disaster. Cassie Voisey crossing the finish line first in that run 1 in the gold medal matchup against Jordy Scott. We'll send them back to the top and decide who gets the big prize. But right now, loaded into the gate, left side of your screen, Ryan Gilchrist. Now, well, this is funny how things come full circle here. We caught up with Gilly earlier, actually, about his thoughts on the reigning king, Tohoto.
Tohoto is an absolute mad dog. He's such a fierce competitor, but he's also one of my good mates. So racing against him and knowing that he's world class at every second of every single event really makes me lift my game. And not just him, but also all of the other races we're competing against are always bringing a top-notch fight to every event.
A lot of mutual respect between these two. We actually talked to Tohoto at stop number 1 about who he thinks some of the people he needs to look out for are for trying to dethrone him from that king title. And the first name out of his mouth was, oh, Gilly goes pretty good. And here they are, side by side in the gold medal matchup here in the specialized dual slalom Cairns. Run number 1 in this gold medal matchup.
Tohoto with a slight advantage out of the gate. He's going to need to lay it all down and use every bit of advantage he has on this slightly faster course, but Gilchrist pulls right alongside of him. Tohoto with a slight advantage going into the brown snake turns. Pedro's rooting for you. Go Tohoto!
There we go! Tohoto through the line first by .669. Keep in mind that is the fast course. Ryan Gilchrist just breathing down his neck. That is the fastest time of the day, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro, that was long, man.
For Tohoto, Ricky Peni.
Yeah.
I would have put money on that was the fastest run. That was unbelievably clean.
You hear what they're talking about? I think they're talking about the gate. Time standing still in that high pressure situation. They said, I thought it wasn't gonna drop.
Oh, the starting gate.
I think that's what he was talking about. Yeah, the gate drop.
Yeah, they're running the UCI BMX gate cadence, which is a random start. So it's really not a thing of timing. It's more about reaction. There's nothing to memorize with the random gate.
I like that.
You see Tohoto, look at that inside right there. Not even touching the last, the second to last berm. He didn't even touch it.
Yeah, this is a masterclass right here of how to ride slalom. Watching these two riders, the mutual respect, you gotta love it. Only one of them is gonna take top prize, and we're one race away from finding out who it's going to be.
It's interesting, we've been talking about how those last couple of turns are so important. We can see Tohoto setting up those turns 3 corners ahead.
Yeah, eyes up, man. That's what you see the true veterans do in this sport, keeping those eyes up, like you say, making their plan well in advance. Turkovic and Rawson, bronze medal matchup here. It's time to give away some hardware. Shania Rawson with the advantage of .119. She has the fast course. She just needs to hold it together.
She's doing everything she needs to do right now. Got the hole shot. She's got a bike length. She's on the faster course. She just needs to keep her competitor in her sights and behind her. Turkovic falling back just a little bit. It's been a long day out here. Wonder how many times these riders have walked up this hill. Shania Rawson able to maximize her points here in the bronze medal matchup.
There we go. You know what? She found herself in the bronze medal matchup at both stops so far in this 2024 season. This time, she gets to take home the medal. 4th place in Rotorua. Bronze here today in Cairns for Shania Rawson.
Yeah, Turkovic just looking slightly out of rhythm from top to bottom there. Maybe overriding just a little bit, or like we were saying, some of the fatigue of the day maybe setting in on these riders, but an amazing, amazing run out of Shania Rawson, keeping it absolutely pitch perfect.
Well, you got to give it to Turkovic as well, taking that 6th place qualifying result and pushing it all the way into the bronze medal matchup. Congrats to Shania Rawson. Wow, look at that. We were talking about that hand injury for Jackson Frew from the farm accident. I think we got a little blood seeping through that foxglove.
Oh yeah, tough guy stuff out here today with Jackson Frew.
Man, that's a racer's mentality right there. First of all, you unwrap the wound, and then you put it on a handlebar and see what's possible. And Jackson pushing it all the way here to the bronze medal matchup. He's got .139 to make up behind Seth Stylie. Jackson Frew on the fast course. Can he do it? Pushing through the pain.
Gets that hole shot even with the injured hand. Gonna be pushing here right now, but Stylie's got everything to gain. Let's see what he can do. 0.2 at the split. Can Jackson Fruit keep it clean through these bottom turns and make his way to the bronze medal? He's looking good, and he does it. Unbelievable ride out of Stylie, though. Man of the match in my book.
Look at that. Jackson Fruit with the bronze medal. Congratulations to him, pushing through the pain and putting it on the podium. We got to give it to Seth Stylie as well. The youngster, I'm sure this is not the last time we see him in a medal round here on the Crankworx World Tour.
Definitely not. This could be just that moment he needed. You know, brands see this, and you were mentioning he's on a single speed. Maybe he'd be faster if he got on this bike, so brands can pay attention and be like, oh, I think we can support this guy and get some podiums.
Single speed, hardtail, one brake, 26-inch wheels, racing against people who are on purpose-built slalom machines. Let's take a look at that. Jackson Fruit grabbing that bronze. Jackson, first things first, congratulations on securing that bronze medal. I'm going to use my hands that aren't bleeding to give you a round of applause, but I want to hear about your hand that is bleeding. How did that injury start?
The injury started a couple weeks ago. Had an unfortunate accident on the farm. We had a pile bone that went a bit wrong and fortunately got me pretty good, but the bottom of my hand's been all good, and against some better wishes of some doctors I've got, we're here and we're trying, and it doesn't really affect me riding too much, but clipping a couple flags definitely doesn't do it good.
We saw that. I can't imagine how much pain you pushed through today. We got to congratulate you. Way to go, man. You're going to have a story to go along with that bronze medal.
Yeah, there's going to be a hell of a story there. Thanks, guys.
Jackson Fruit, what an animal. Against the better wishes, I think is the way he put it, from his doctors. Securing that bronze. What an animal. Here we go, gold medal matchup loaded up into the gate. Cassie Voicey going up against your #1 qualifier in today's specialized dual slalom Cairns, Jordy Scott. Jordy Scott on the fast course, but she is behind. She's got to make up .623, which is a pretty hefty margin. This is going to be a great show. Here we go.
Jordy Scott rockets out of the gate, gets the whole shot by a pretty sizable margin, laying the power down. She stays on 2 wheels over this tabletop and gets full pedals, and she has a little bit of a lead. .171 is not much. I think she might have it right now, but the race ain't over yet. Pedaling down into the brown snake turns, railing, getting as much momentum as she can. Here comes Cassie on the bottom turns. What's it gonna be?
Jordy's gonna do it. She needed .68. What's it gonna be? Was it .623? Is that what I heard Mikey say?
I think you're right, yeah.
I don't think that's gonna be enough. I think
it was
she needed .689.
I think it was the split time is what I saw. That was my mistake. Thanks for subscribing, Benji.
Yeah, Benji.
Have to wait for the timing crew.
The drama is
waiting for the final word. I mean, all we can do is trust our eyes as much as we trust them. That did not look like .6 to me.
Yeah, this is where the improvement was from the other run. You see her get on both tires at the same time and able to get 2 full cranks across that tabletop. Do you see something?
I don't know, it looked pretty close. Jordy looked pretty close to that gate.
She was around it. That angle definitely showed it. Yep. She was inside the track.
That's why we have 1,000 cameras.
But wasn't enough.
Oh, what?
For Cassie.
Okay, well, I'm hearing in my headset right here that they're going to rerun that one.
Sounds like maybe there was a timing issue.
We are waiting for the official word from our timing crew.
Interesting.
So we'll wait to see.
It was too close to call, for sure. I don't know who would have won that.
Man, I don't think that Jordy would have made up that .6, but it doesn't really matter because we're going to run him again. And we got another heat loaded up into the gate right here. Come on, give me a break. This is going to be amazing. Reigning King, you're looking at him right there. Suiting up, getting the goggles cozy inside that helmet. Tuhoto Ariki Peni, your #3 qualifier from earlier today's seeding rounds, going up against the defending champion here at Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns, Ryan Gilchrist, the #1 qualifier here today.
And Tuhoto doing exactly what you need to do in these slalom events. He's building his day. His last run on the course was the fastest lap of the day. Here we are right now, run 1 of this gold medal matchup.
And we're gonna get to see Gilly on that black course where he clears that tabletop.
This is where Tejoto's, that inside right there, that's where he's starting to set up these bottom turns, and he's keeping that momentum better than any other rider on the track right now.
Well, if he's doing that on both sides, it's going to play toward his favor here, as this is going to be an all-out battle, this heat between Tehoto Ariki Peni and Ryan Gilchrist. New Zealand versus Australia. Number 3 versus number 1 qualifiers. And the differential, very similar to the gold medal matchup in the women's field, 0.669. Ryan Gilchrist needing to make it up. He's on the fast course, but like you say, Tehoto is so fast at the bottom.
Gilchrist is going to send it so hard.
He's going to send
now.
it.
I can feel it.
I mean, he's been so aggressive in all the other heats. Imagine the aggression we're about to see here in this gold medal run. This is days and days in the gate, isn't it?
Yeah, he's got nothing to lose right here. Even a crash or a mistake, he's still in second place, so he's going to leave it all out on this track right now, which is a lot.
And we heard him talking about pressure earlier in that soundbite. And that is exactly what he's feeling right now.
Yeah, he's right in the spot where he wants. If he likes the pressure, if he feeds off of it, the weight is on his shoulders right now. His race to lose.
You like pressure? Okay, cool. We're going to put you on the fast course, behind by 0.669 against Tehoto. And then we're going to grab the popcorn and watch the show.
See Tehoto trying to work out his goggles. His goggles are fogging up there. He's heating up in that helmet.
A little bit of humidity in the air out here, it turns out.
Yeah, just a tad here in the rainforest, as it turns out.
Here we go, gold medal matchup, run number 2 for the men.
Both riders, amazing hole shots, gates right there, barely anything in it. Tehoto just slightly. Gilchrist gaps all the way over the table and gains just about a half a bike length lead. There is almost nothing in between, 0.054 at the split. Gilchrist extending his lead right now. He's got time to make up though. What can he do on these flat turns? Here comes Tehoto.
Go!
And barely dances around.
Can be close. 0.7, he does it! Ryan Gilchrist does it for the second year in a row. A gold medal. Wow! We needed 0.6.
A win from behind, only leaving 0.091 between the riders. Little mistake there out of Tehoto on those flat turns.
Oh, it's right.
Could have been the difference. Okay.
Oh, man.
Just something for perspective. Look how hard Gilchrist is breathing right now. He's leading the EWRE category, so he is a fit boy and just raced for 26 seconds and left it all out there. Look at that.
Yeah, he earned this one.
Man, that was an amazing adjustment in the air. He realized he was coming up just a hair short. He got that landing gear out right there and got the front tire over and was able to keep his momentum.
Yeah, that was just so much bike skill demonstrated here by both of these riders, but the aggression from Ryan Gilchrist.
He's pedaling in places that no other competitor is pedaling. What an animal. Let's see here if we can see the mistake. Tehoto, you see him doing those inside lines again. He comes around right here and has to dance around. Let's see if we can see. Yeah, went a little bit wide and had to bring it back. So made those last couple turns a little bit longer and wasn't able to maintain that gap that he had from run 1. What a race.
What a race is right. Ryan, that was fun to watch. First of all, I gotta thank you for putting on that show. One thing that we really enjoyed about this race is the obvious mutual respect between you and Tehoto. Man, what's it like being in the gate shoulder to shoulder with Tehoto?
Oh, look, we've managed to become really good mates through versing each other in gold medal matchups. Like, it's absolutely unreal. He's like a top human on and off the bike, so racing against him is always a pleasure.
Gilly, amazing race. I noticed a little adjustment you made. You were the only one jumping that tabletop. And in that last race, I saw you make a quick adjustment. It kind of looked like you were coming up a little bit short, and you moved the bike to keep your momentum going. Can you talk me through what was going on there?
Yeah, right before the tabletop, there were a couple little soft patches that have been in and out all day. And in that run, I had like a super good drive through the first 3 pedals, and then hit one of those little soft spots, and it just like cooked up my momentum a tiny bit, so wasn't able to smoothly backside. So just put out the spidery daddy long legs and managed to parachute my way down and got some good backside and had some good speed carrying out of that feature.
Well, amazing, amazing adjustment there, man. Congratulations.
Thank you so much. Appreciate you guys.
Well, let's hear it right there. Ryan Gilchrist grabbing the gold medal for the 2nd year in a row. Hard-fought battle there for Tohoto Riki Peni. Congrats to him on securing that silver medal and those valuable points. And now we get to watch this run again. I am not complaining. Cassie Voicey, Jordy Scott, the gold medal matchup. We're gonna refresh this and see that .623. That separates these two. The advantage going to Cassie Voicey. Jordy Scott needs to beat .62. She's on the fast side. Very similar position to what we just saw Ryan Gilchrist in. What will the story be here for the women?
Jordy getting the whole shot. She's got about a bike length lead right here. .6 on that bottom is going to be about a bike length and a half at the least. So she needs to lay it all down right here if she wants to keep her gold medal dreams alive. She's got the distance right now, but this is where Cassie's been so strong.
Oh, she needs .6.
Oh,
Cassie! Cassie misses the gate. No way! Wow, Jordy would have had it on the time, but she got it no matter what, because Cassie Voicey missed that gate. Jordy Scott grabbing the gold medal here for the women.
Yeah, that was Cassie's opportunity. She was much, much stronger on those flat turns there on the white course, but she overcooked it just slightly and wasn't able to keep it on track. Amazing race by both of these women here. Two-wheel TJ, let's go Jordy. Well, she just did it. Coming down, you see these riders getting pedals in these gold medal matchups in locations where they haven't been pedaling all race. So they're coming into these sections with more speed than they have all day, having to make those quick adjustments. Such a technical race. And this is where Cassie comes in. This is her opportunity. Watch how much time she makes up right here on Jordy coming into this last turn. But it ended up just being a little bit too much as she tries to slow down, and it was too late. Yeah, Jordy, good job.
Jordy, you know this, but I'm going to tell you anyways. You're really good at dual slalom.
Thanks, Sam.
Despite what you thought, you started off the season with a bronze medal in Rotorua. You just grabbed the gold. What do you make of this course and this amazing crowd of loud fans out here in Cairns?
Yeah, it was super awesome. This course was really fun. It was fast, but not so fast that you're concerned for your life. So I really liked it. This is my first slalom gold medal, so super happy to check that one off the list today.
What was it like having to do that final matchup twice?
Yeah, it was pretty crazy. I know that first one was super close, so it was kind of like, didn't know which way that was going to go. So it could have been a blessing, I don't know, but glad I could hold it together 2 more times tonight.
You got it. Another medal here for your 2024 season. I'm sure that's not the end of the story. You're on a tear right now, so congrats on grabbing this dual slalom gold.
Thanks so much.
There we go, a little update to the Queen of Crankworx leaderboard. Coming into this race, Martha Gill had a 5-point lead. Now she has a 15-point deficit there. She's still in second place, but Shania Rawson taking that 3rd place and using it to her advantage, moving herself to the top of the Queen of Crankworx overall standings. And look at how the numbers crunch down for the King of Crankworx overall standings. The reigning king, Tohoto, putting his name at the top of the list here. Ryan Gilchrist biting at his heels. Tight battle there between those two. And Jackson Frew holding down the fort there in 3rd. Congratulations out there to our winners today. And a big congratulations to the winner of our giveaway. We're giving away a shirt. We're going to send it to Tim Quain. So congratulations goes out there to Tim Quain, wherever in the world you are joining us from. We got a lot of chatter here on the Red Bull Bike YouTube channel. This is just the start, folks. It's been fun having you here with us, and I'm hoping you're going to join us tomorrow, because tomorrow is going to be a blast. The downhill broadcast coming at you from a legendary downhill course. I'm looking at the finish line. What amazing venue we have here at Crankworx Cairns. Every single one of the events finishing in this square. Right in the back of Jordy right there. That's the finish of the downhill course. It's going to be good, Alan.
Yeah, this is the downhill track here. There's the vine section. So many famous spots on this track. Mick Hanna's got his own gap on the track. Very, very high speed with one of the most brutal sprints at the bottom. Right there, your heart is coming through your throats.
Well, big day today, but just the tip of the iceberg for the action we're going to be bringing you from beautiful Cairns, Australia, second stop of our 2024 World Tour. Thanks for joining us here in the Specialized Dual Slalom Cairns. I've been Cam McCall alongside Alan Cook. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you tomorrow for Downhill. Good night.
Trying to make a climb as the skies get grayer. Driven by the rock to make sport beat stresses, cause living on the block is like a full court pressure. But here comes the sun, dropping shots like a ton of weight. Levitate and shake, then penetrate the pain. Step like a child, cause my style is scorching. I get amazed as I blaze a trail like I was Portland. Yo kid, I got crazy ups. I'm the man among men with the flavor gums. I get exquisite with it when I post up and pivot. I'm raw, yo I score and get boards in double digits. You can't maintain when I rain. Yo I'm dipping off the tap and the neck gets strained. I live the flow and let it blow with the give and go. Flipping the show so I can turn pro and get dough. Freaking with the dish, even sweeter with the swisher. Kicking no looks, using hooks like a fisher. But on the streets, peeps sending the caskets. Forget shooting guns, I'm better off shooting baskets.